him out. Sorry. Thank you so much. Dohira, take it over.
Dr. Satya Vadlamani, Chairperson and a Managing Director of Murli Krishna Pharma Private Limited. She has nearly 30 years of experience in pharmaceutical innovation and global market. Suman Iyengar, CEO and co-founder of Go Vega Software, has 30 plus years of experience in data, AI, and product engineering. A Databricks partner, she drives digital transformation and advocate for women in tech globally. Shakti Kumar Lekha, business strategic speaker, marketing expert, currently Chief Strategic Officer at Elite, also founder of Shakti Lekha Venture with experience in scaling B2B business. I invite them to join us in a stage.
Great. Nice to be here at this place on such an auspicious day of social stock exchange starting off. And I'm proud and privileged to have absolute diversity in the panel. So nice to have Dr. Satya and Sumanna ma'am. Both have a magnificent journey, as Nobita was rightly highlighting, started with being an employee to an entrepreneur. So I would request both of them to share their entrepreneurial journey and the life journey and the lessons learned during this, and how do they describe their journey. So that's the first question for both of them. Maybe I start with Dr. Satya, you.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, thanks a lot, Nabomita, for inviting me here. Thank you very much. And I would also like to tell Dr. Matthias about the fact when he mentioned senior citizens, I'm also 61 years of age. But having said that, I always believe age is a number, and it's your thought process that makes you either old or young. It's up to you. And I learned that from my father, who was an emeritus professor with IIT Bombay. So I grew up in the confines of IIT itself. So having said that, yes, journey, if you're going to ask me, it's something which is still ongoing. The journey never ends. I never look at the destination. I believe life is a journey. We're all parts of it, and we will go on. And then somebody else will take over where we are. एक हिंदी में एक बहुत फेमस चीज़ कहते हैं कि जहाँ आज मैं हूँ वहाँ कल कोई और होगा और उसके बाद कोई और होगा. So it's a journey that goes on and on. It's only probably the names of the passengers that change. So I'm an electrical and electronics engineer. I don't know where I ended up in pharma. I still keep wondering as to what did I do in pharma. But then I started my career in pharma in 1992 with a company called Armor Chemicals. The only thing I had with me was a bad degree and a burn in my stomach that I wanted to reach somewhere high in my life. And I think that's what set me off. So when I started my career in 92, I was probably one of the few women who were there in the active pharmaceutical ingredients segment in the exports market. The rest of the women were either wives of the owners or the daughters or whatever, sisters and all. So I was one of the rare actual professional person who got in. I learned everything from my first boss, and Dr. Atma Gupta, I still hold him in great esteem. He taught me about pharma, because I still recollect the first time I met him. He said, Satya, you have an ability to market. You can sell ice creams to people living in igloos. And I want you to take up this offer and join me. And you will have to convince the UNICEF to come and buy formulations from our plant in Mandideep. And I still remember asking him what formulations, because I just had a baby at that time, and the only formulations I knew were the Nestle formulations. So from there on, learning about finished dosage forms, learning about active pharmaceutical ingredients, learning from a man who was very passionate about his products. That actually set me on the path of understanding or reliving my chemistry once again. From there on, yes, my last job which I held was in Ajanta Pharma as a general manager, international business development, which I quit in N97, beginning 98. And I was also considered to be one of the youngest general managers of that time. I had come in Business India or something like that. So I grew in my career. I learned a lot. I also learned I lost a lot because somewhere I was missing out on my children's growth and everything else. They were kids. I had one boy who was, he was born in 86 and another boy who was born in 92. So suddenly in 98, I again took a sudden drastic decision where I said, I want to give time to my children. So I quit my job, went independent, started a company called Murli Krishna Exports that started off with indenting and then went into trading. Again in 2004, the bug bit me once again. I said, no, I have to do something more than what I'm doing. And that's where Murli Krishna Pharma as a company started. So we started off, as he puts it rightly, vision and mission statements. Yes, a lot of people look at them as something on a billboard or something on the back page to be kept and shown to all the investors. For us, our vision was very clear when we started, me and Dr. Vijay Shastri and my parents, my husband. I was on a beg, borrow, steal mode. Wherever and wherever I could. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. My late father was an emeritus professor and my mother was an economics school teacher. So I was on a beg, borrow, not steal of course, but beg, borrow kind of level. So I started off and we had the vision at that time that we would go aqueous. At a time when the entire world was having, and the ICH guidelines itself said you could have residual for solvent limit of up to 5,000 ppm. That was the time when we said we would go aqueous. That meant innovation would be a part of our entire story. So we started with innovation. And we converted the current formulations that were there and that were using solvents, we converted them to an aqueous base. Now people will wonder, why do you need aqueous when you have solvents which do very well? The problem is, solvents are anyway present in all the APIs what you use, but you also have huge residual solvent, solvent recovery plants that remove 99% of the solvent. There may be 1% left over, but if you're going to further add solvents into a system like a formulation, you cannot remove it. And solvents lead to cancer. Today, ICH has brought down has tightened its specs saying that it has to be less than 500 ppm. I'm talking between 2004 to 2010-11, when they all got, how do I put it, they all sat under the Bodhi tree and got Gyan. So we have done that. We did a lot in our specialization lay in the fact that we were able to encapsulate things very well, be it microencapsulation, be it particles being reduced. Later on, we moved on to nanoencapsulations. And today, if you ask me where we are, yes, we are a specialist in liposomal and nanoencapsulation. We have products which we have patented, special products for anemia. And for me, social responsibility is not just a CSR figure that I look at. I look at the villages around me. I work in education because I come from a background of people who have been educated. I work in the health sector. I work with giving water. In fact, one of my friends who is an ex-IITian developed a product which is meant to be fitted onto this water. You have this hand pump for delivering water. So he created a particular product that can be attached to that water hand pump, and you get 99.99% microbial free water. And we installed such devices in more than 20 to 30 villages in and around where we are. We helped in schools during the COVID time, getting them digital screens and TVs, and also that the children could be given long distance education. I have seen schools around me and they are, trust me, you should really appreciate those teachers. They literally go sometimes and bring the children to the school on their cycles because the parents don't want the girls to go to school, they would rather they go somewhere. And I'm talking about a state like Maharashtra, which is pretty forward when you look at it that way. So, not an easy journey. No journey in this world is easy. You have your ups, you have your downs. I was lucky I had my family with me. Even today, my younger son is a part and parcel of everything I do. My eldest son ran away and decided to settle down in Canada, but my younger son, who did his PhD at Cambridge, is a part of Murli Krishna Pharma. He's a director of strategy. I have Dr. Vijay Shastri, who's a long-time friend and a long-time mentor. And well, I feel bad because I've lost the people who actually supported me all my life, whether it's my parents or my husband. But I have a new set of people today with me, my son, my daughter-in-law, and let's see how things go ahead. I don't believe I'm not ready to put the cap down. I'm walking. Maybe one day I'll do it, but not now. Today is not the day or the time. Thank you very much for listening to me.
That was very inspiring.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nabomita, for this opportunity. Thanks, everyone, for being here. So I stopped counting my years of experience. I lost the count, more than 30 plus years. And I'm an electronics engineer by background, though I'm doing software, but I come from the electronics background. I don't know, most of us in India, in whichever domain you are, suddenly you switch to software for whatever reasons. So in the last 30 years, I worked for 18 years across various organizations, MNCs, startups. I started my career in a startup in an outhouse. At that point of time, my salary was 800 rupees. I still remember my friends drawing a bigger salary in large IT companies. I started as a PLC programmer for 800 rupees of salary. I still remember my mom giving me 10 rupees, for my bus fare. I'm born and brought up in Bangalore. So I used to take 2 buses, go to the office, come back, a lot of hard work. Used to carry lunchbox because you didn't have enough money to spend and eat outside. So come from a middle class background, a lot of hard work. And over a period of time, like as any woman, you get pressurized by the family at the age of 24, got to get married. I got married. I moved to Singapore for 10 years with my husband, then came back to India for good because we had a motivation at that time that you want to build your own house and then have some small savings and then come back and be with your parents. A typical, like how any of the middle class family members think in terms of financial safety, security, and take care of your parents. So we did that. We came back and I worked in an organization for 9-10 years, and then I really had this that I had to do something on my own. So me and I have 2 other partners, we quit our jobs and started this company called Go Avega Software. The idea was like, what can I do something which others are not doing? So we saw that most of the large IT organizations that I worked, they were all serving large enterprise customers. But I did see that there is an MSME sector, SME sector. There are startups who need technology experts like us, who need software people like us to give them services. So there was a purpose. So it's not that we just started because my neighbor is making millions of dollars. In Bangalore, you have that startup hub and there's a lot of pressure, peer pressure. Okay, this guy is making millions, I got to make millions. It's not like that. We always wanted to do something that has a purpose. So we started this company. From when all we started was like, we don't have any godfathers. We don't have any financial backing. All we had was 3 things: time, knowledge, and determination. These are the 3 things we had with us when we started our company. And we started in a 2-bedroom apartment. We put all our savings and we started very small. And then the biggest challenge for me was hiring people because nobody would join us. People who would come for the first round of interview, they won't come for the second round of interview. Looking at our building, they said, oh, are these people real? Are these people really existing, But then I relied on 2 things: my own network, and second thing is the freshers community. So I was able to reach out to my networks and connections, ask them if they would be interested to come to work. And I also reached out to women who had taken break in their career. They had taken break in their career to take care of their elders, to take care of their kids. They were wanting that flexible work environment 11 years ago, pre-COVID. They wanted the work from home. They wanted the laptop. They wanted to contribute. They wanted to start their career back. So I reached out to such women, and they were so happy. They were so committed. They joined me, and the freshers joined me. Today, we have built an organization close to 100 people, debt-free organization, and completely diversified, and we are a women-owned business. Most of the leadership in our organization are women, and we believe that women bring a lot of creativity, and they can understand some of the real problems, and they are good in finance, in managing finance. Though a lot of people say that women need to improve in finance and other things, but I personally have seen and I believe that we are very good in finance because we manage family at home. And whatever our husbands give the money, most of the women, they try to manage with that money and save also. If you find in some grocery boxes, you will find a lot of money. My mom used to save, I still remember. So for any entrepreneur, like my journey, it has not been easy. The first thing when I started, see, I am an engineer by background. I did not understand sales. I did not understand marketing. And my first goal when you start as an entrepreneur, if anybody wants to start, the first thing you need to think is, how do I bring customers? How do I bring revenue to the table, right? You need customers to run a business. With no customers, you are having no business. You may have people, but who will they work for? For what? There should be some purpose. So bringing customers was a big challenge. So I had to learn, and I have to adapt to learn new skills. So I learned sales. And as Navamita was saying, like, I always have traveled to US and other places where my company used to arrange. Everything was given to me on a platter, you know. You go here, you meet these people, you do this, you do that, and everything. But when you become an entrepreneur, nothing is given to you on your platter. You got to prepare your own platter. You got to, like first time I still remember with my own savings and my company's money, I had to go to US. I had to do everything, and I had to first find whom will I meet, and will they really give me business. And initially when I met some of them, they questioned me. There are thousands of companies like yours. What is your story? Why should I give business to you? You know, and some people used to criticize me. You don't have any USP, you don't have anything to say, why do you want to do this? Lot of people try to put me down, but these are all the noises that you keep listening and you keep getting. So you got to just bypass them, and you just got to listen to yourself. All I wanted to do was, how can I give a coffee machine to my customers than a drilling machine? I hope you can understand. What does a coffee machine do? It is easy to use. It serves the purpose. You can brew a fresh coffee, and it's very accessible. But drilling machine, it's hard to use. You need a manual. You may hurt yourself. So I believe in providing solutions to my customers, which is like a coffee machine. Easy to use, flexible, and accessible, and can just work along with your existing process. So I always used to, think that people will give you these kind of negative thing that you need to bypass. And then I believe that we need to all, once you become an entrepreneur and once you start taking up new challenges, because for me challenges, even though they are like obstacles, but believe me, they are like your long-term friends in disguise. The more and more you face challenges in life, more and more you become stronger. You become so strong that you are ready to face any kind of a challenge. So I had challenges in hiring, I had challenges in sales. And challenges in sales for every entrepreneur, believe me, for any company, it continues. Like you will always feel that they're not bringing the numbers that I want. I think I'm able to do better sales than anybody else. Of course, as an entrepreneur, you're the most passionate human being in your organization than anybody else. So you don't have to say proudly about that. Nobody can have the same passion as you, but at the same time, we got to continuously build and trust. And then the other thing I also saw that was, if you have to grow, you cannot be in the status quo. You have to innovate. You have to come up with solutions. And you have to be able to articulate and communicate that your customers can understand. And that has to be part of your growth story. You cannot remain as a status quo. So challenges for me are like, you know, I always give this example, that challenges are like, you know, villains in your life, like in a movie, right? So assume the director is directing a movie and there is a villain in the movie, but the villain is killed by the hero in the first 10 minutes of the movie. What's the story? There's no story, right? So what does the hero do? He leverages the ecosystem, that is the supporting system. You see, all the heroes will have supporting actors, side actors. There will be somebody who is going to give him, you know, something to reach out to the villain, to fight with him, to, you know, conquer him or destroy him, whatever, right? So challenges are like that. So you need challenges for you to leverage your ecosystem. So I always believe in that support ecosystem, like the community of network, the community of people. And we should never, I never hesitated to ask for help. I never hesitate to ask for business. So you got to shy away from all those things. Ask for help. Ask that, hey, I need this, can you help me? You always need mentors. We cannot assume I know everything. I don't need anybody. I can do everything on my own. No, we need mentors. So I used to ask for help. I believe that when you do this, definitely we can grow, and challenges will become like just a normal cold and cough. And you have our pharmacist here, pharmacy person, to give us the right medicine. Thank you.
Very, very inspiring journey for both of you. Now, I have a question for Dr. Satya. I see that you moved from very, very gradual, if you ask me, employee to a trading model which helps you balance your life, see your children grow up, very maturely done. And then by 2004, right, you got into the full-fledged action mode, creating the innovation company. So I would like to know, now from there till today, where you have reached multiple 100 crores of turnover, what are you looking at in next 2-3 years, or how do you plan to take it forward from this point, and what would be your growth levers for it? Because when somebody sees your organization, you have covered everything from PFIs to finish to, I see, contract manufacturing also you're doing. Everywhere, yesterday I went through your website, I could feel you are somewhere larger than MSN. So you cover the whole gamut of whatever it could be there possibly in pharma, plus you're there in innovation and R&D. You're spending around 4 to 5% clearly every year on your R&D. So from that point, now I wanted to know what would be your next, could be that you are next Biocon, you never know. So where is that? So that's the story I want to know, because you said you will not put your cap down, so there is something which is inspiring you to take it to that level where so that's your ambition, is what I want to know from you, ma'am.
Okay, I started off saying that I had a vision of an aqueous platform, I had a vision of regulatory compliant plant and everything, right? My vision changed midway around